Choosing an iPhone this year will be like choosing a favorite among your own children, harder than ever. Just last year, we witnessed the iPhone 14 Pro outshine the 14 in every way possible. However, this year, the competition seems to be leveling, turning a relatively simple choice into a real mind game with tons of possibilities. As someone who's held and used nearly every iPhone model there is, I've seen Apple's design philosophy evolve, yet consistently stay true to its principles. After using many of the latest iPhone models, I do know what those are, so it will be easy for me to judge the new design, because there's a lot to judge. For example, the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max will step it up a notch this year with a titanium frame, giving a more premium feel and sturdier build compared to the aluminum frame we are gonna see in the standard iPhone 15. Titanium weighs less than steel, but is much more robust, so the Pro iPhones will weigh less while being far more resilient to all wear and tear. But again, it doesn't undermine the aluminum. Aluminum is great and far more playable. So we could expect much more inventive color options with standard iPhone 15 models. I will come back to colors a bit later because there's a much more interesting thing out there that will make these iPhones look different: the edges. The Pro iPhones are rumored to have more rounded edges than before. The renderers have been around for a while, so there's not much to discuss here. Rounded edges will give better and more comfortable grip that we, and I, desperately need. This new, slightly more rounded edges will most likely make iPhones comfortable to hold again. However, remember that both iPhone 15 and 15 Pro will spend most of their lives in a case, making the difference between them almost meaningless. Well, you may want a new design like I do, but it seems far more wise to stick to the older one just for the sake of reliability and familiarity. Yet familiarity, as it appears to me, is something Apple wants to throw out the window by replacing the familiar and beloved nude switch with a button on Pro iPhones this year. This button has been proven by renderers, phone cases, and countless leakers, and according to these rumors, this button will be programmable. It is still unclear which features it will have, but code diggers have examined iOS 17 and revealed that this button might interact with the camera, flashlight, shortcuts, act like a mute switch, open voice memos, and so on. I think this is a very cool new thing, but still a bit skeptical about the necessity of it. Only time will tell, right? It might be useful or just a gimmick. And while we are at the topic of gimmicks, the dynamic island is coming to regular iPhones as well. Leaked images of the iPhone 15 confirm the dynamic island. This change is undoubtedly gonna boost sales, but I am most interested in new features. Will it have any, or will it remain the same as what we have now? Because if the list of features of this island remains the same, then what's the point? Yes, it freshens up the look, but practically, is it that good? Almost a year with the 14 Pro proves one thing: the dynamic island is still a gimmick, but a cool gimmick that does make heads turn. So at least in the dynamic island department, the regular iPhone 15 and 15 Pro are the same. But I can't say that about the display itself, because oh boy, the display on the 15 Pro is gonna wipe the floor with the 15th display. It will still have a higher brightness of at least 2000 nits and ProMotion, plus it's basically a fact at this point that the bezels on Pro iPhones will be thinner. And Unbox Therapy has even compared a dummy iPhone 15 Pro to 14 Pro. The bezels are gonna get thinner and reach 1.55 millimeters, which should be a world record at that point. If Xiaomi doesn't make anything crazier at least. Oh, and Samsung has already started manufacturing those displays, so that's settled. Now let's take a quick break and talk about this video sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where you can find thousands of classes to explore and learn new skills while unleashing your creativity. Whether you're interested in marketing, business analytics, productivity, web development, freelancing, or anything else, there are classes that match your goals and interests. With Skillshare, you can not only discover your passions, but also learn how to build a career that suits you. You don't have to start with difficult courses right away. You can begin with easier ones and gradually challenge yourself at your own pace. Personally, I enjoy Skillshare's curated lists of classes. Currently, I'm watching classes from a list about productivity to really up my game here. This list of of classes includes classes from Thomas Frank, Ellie Abdel, and Brooke Glazer, and Skillshare is ad-free so you can stay in the zone while you're exploring new skills. New premium classes launched each week, so there's always something new to discover. The entire catalog is now available with subtitles in Spanish, French, Portuguese, and German. So invest in yourself and your personal growth. The first 1,000 people to use the link will get a 1-month free trial. So consider joining Skillshare using the link in the description below. And now let's get back to the video. Another thing, okay, Type-C port. First, back in February, a picture of an iPhone with the new port showed up. In April, we got to see dummy models of the phone where Type-C is clearly visible. Plus, the iPhone cases that leaked recently also point to Type-C. They have a bigger cutout for the charging port, and that means the port design has changed. And there also are photos of the iPhone 15 with Type-C. Type-C is an inevitability. Sorry, Lightning lovers, but Apple wouldn't have been Apple if they didn't come up with some sort of a separation here. What I mean is the speed difference. Only the Pro iPhones will have the high-speed Type-C. This could be USB 3.2 or even Thunderbolt 3, which means we could see really fast data transfer speeds of up to 20 or even 40 GBs per second. Regular iPhone 15 models won't have that luxury. Their Type-C will have the good old USB 2.0, so the data transfer speeds will remain the same as we have now with Lightning. And that's a huge bummer. Yes, for most people, this data transfer speed thing doesn't matter. Regular iPhone users rarely connect their iPhone to the computer, but it still makes me sad that Apple decided to kick us in the balls there. Well, at least we'll get new colors, right? Yes, hooray! New colors are coming, everybody, because 3 new colors are better than a fast Type-C port, right? So, the regular iPhone 15 will come in 6 colors in total: Midnight, Starlight, Green, Light Yellow, Pink, and Red. At least that's what leaks say. As for the 15 Pro, leaks are less certain. All leaks claim the new color will be red, but new leaks suggest blue. I will keep you posted if something changes, and yeah, some leaks suggest the regular iPhone 15 models get frosted back glass like current Pro iPhones have. So this year, the regular iPhones might actually look better than the Pros. Unbelievable, right? These visual changes are for sure very exciting, but what is far more interesting, at least to me, are the internals. And I'm not talking about the chip. No. I'm talking about cameras. 14 Pro and a regular 14 are quite different in terms of cameras. 14 Pro has 2 and 3 times zoom options, shoots Pro RAW, and has a huge 48 megapixel sensor. The ultra-wide camera on 14 Pro is also better than on the iPhone 14. This year, however, we might see some tectonic shifts, alright? Because Meng-Chi Kuo says that the regular iPhone 15 and 15 Plus will come with a 48 megapixel camera. The same thing has also been confirmed by Jeff Pu, but don't get too excited, because there are rumors that this won't be the sensor found on Pro iPhones. Rumors on Weibo suggest that the sensor on regular iPhone 15s will be smaller than on Pros, but I think it's still a huge upgrade from the 12 megapixels we have now. I hope that regular iPhone 15 will get the zoom functionality like on Pro iPhones that work by just cropping in on a bigger image. Believe me, that will change lives. This 48 megapixel sensor isn't the only point where 15 and 15 Pro are gonna be similar. Some rumors suggest that the lens systems on new iPhones are gonna be new, combining glass and plastic elements. This should technically make images better, but we'll see. So, in terms of camera, the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro will be quite similar. Yet, the 15 Pro Max will surely pack an even more serious punch, because it's rumored to get a periscope camera. This new camera should allow it to have 5 or even 6 times zoom, which is crazy for iPhones. Some people go crazy and predict 10 times zoom, but I don't think that's gonna happen. 10 times zoom is too impractical and excessive. What seems to me even more excessive is the power of the new A17 chip that's gonna find its way into the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. This will be the first 3nm chip ever in iPhones, and it's expected to be 10 to 15% more powerful while reducing the energy consumption by a whopping 35%. And the RAM size will go up to 8 gigs. Regular iPhone 15 will surely have the A16 from the 14 Pro and 6 gigs of RAM. But that chip is still super powerful, so don't you dare get sad or disappointed. Most likely you won't even use all that horsepower in all the years of using that phone, so So chillax. Chillax, because the best news is on the way. Every iPhone 15 model is going to have a much bigger battery this year. The iPhone 15 Pro will get an extra 450 mAh, making it a total of 3650 mAh. The 15 Pro Max is getting an even bigger boost, an extra 529 mAh, making it a whopping 4852 mAh. The iPhone 15 will get almost 500 mAh extra and reach 3877 mAh, while 15 Plus will top at 4912 mAh. That's a lot of juice. These new iPhones might be the most long-lasting iPhones ever, especially if the new chips will be as efficient as rumors claim. Batteries getting bigger, that's what I very much like, but what I don't like are rising prices, because there are serious concerns that Pro iPhones this year will get more expensive. Jeff Pu thinks the iPhone 15 Pro could be priced starting at $1099, up from the $999 starting price of the iPhone 14 Pro. If that's accurate, 15 Pro Max could be priced starting at $1199. Regular models, however, might retain the same price tag, $799 for the iPhone 15 and $899 for the 15 Plus. Taking these prices into account, you now must see why picking an iPhone this year will be so difficult. Because the regular iPhones might look just as good as Pros, have the same dynamic island design, have the same 48 megapixel cameras, also have Type-C, and somehow be cheaper. It's really hard for me to justify buying the 15 Pro this year. 15 Pro Max seems like a far better deal. $1,200 for a better display, titanium body, periscope camera, new chip. I think I'm gonna go with that. Now, what do you think? Which one will you pick? And thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.